continuous? Can you have half a square? No. Okay, so again, I should see dots. And if you had lines, just erase them, right? We shouldn't have those lines. And if we're looking at the rectangles, you still need to fill in the table, you need to do the words here, and then you need to do the equation, and you need to have your graph, okay? With your graph, I need to have labels with those. Now, when I looked at 4, 5, 6, what's the easiest way to determine if it's linear or nonlinear? If there's a constant what? Constant change. As I increase, as the x increases by a certain number, is the y increasing by the same, right? So, in order to define what is linear, linear is constant increase in a table, right? So when we look at a table, I'm looking at a constant increase. Now, the quiz that we're taking today, the little homework quiz, it's not on linear, nonlinear. It's on is it a function? Is it a function? Now, that's different than linear, nonlinear, right? In a table, we're looking at this constant change, right? So when you looked at 4, 5, 6, you should have been able to tell it's at a constant change, right? When you look at questions 7 to 10, what are you looking at for linear? If it's a graph, if it's a what? What makes it linear in a graph? Maria? Straight line, right? So in a graph, it made a straight line, okay? How about the equations? So 11 was not linear, right? And 14 was nonlinear, right? And 16 was not linear. So what makes our equation linear? And if we look at our variables, here the variable was to what power in that first one? As I'm looking, Piper, in 11. What do you have the variable to? Just look at it. What's the variable to? X to the second power. So here we have x to the second, and if you plug some numbers in, it's going to not make a straight line. If we look at this one, this equation is really 4, and since x is in the denominator, it would be actually x to the negative 1 is how we write that. And this last one, y is equal to x to the 4th. Whereas if you look at number 12, what's the power of the variable in number 12? Y equals 2x. X is to what power if there's nothing there? 1. In this one, what's our x power to? 1. And here? So when I'm trying to decide linear, I look at a table and I go constant rate of change. Graph, straight line. Equation, I want to make sure that the variable is to the first power. Okay? Anytime my variable's to the first power, it will be linear. We'll make a straight line. Maria. Slope-intercept form I would have taken too. Variable to the first power. Okay? So, any of those reasons. Okay? So, today, you're working on this activity on your computer. So, going back, the definition before of being a function. Each input had an output, right? That's different than linear, nonlinear. So I will have people on the test confuse those two questions. It'll say, is this a function? And people will say, no, it doesn't make a straight line. That's not the definition of a function. So you want to really make sure you go back in your notes and have the definition of function down and what linear, nonlinear is. What you're going to do right now is you are going to go on your device and you're going to go to student.desmos.com, okay? So do that right now. All 6, and you answer the questions, okay? Once you are done with that, you are working at B3, actually has 2 pages, and I know in the workbook it has the first page of B3, and then the second page it has, it says B4. There's not 4 pages of B4, there's only 3. So there's 2 pages of that B3 worksheet in there, and then there's 4 pages of B4, okay? So you are doing the